A shocking new report ripped through Twitter yesterday that Kenny Pickett was outperforming Jalen Hurts during OTAs this week, but the truth behind the actual report is a lot bigger than people realize. Plus, Kellen Moore's offense is already taking shape in ways Eagle fans could only dream about, and 2 injured Eagles are working hard to not lose their starting spots. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. So normally you wait until training camp to get quarterback controversy reports during Eagles practices, but with Jalen Hurts securing his bag this offseason and still having a pretty good, not perfect, but pretty good 2023, you'd think we'd be past this sort of thing. Until yesterday, following the Eagles' second OTA practice of the week, Twitter caught fire when the official Steelers Nation Twitter account posted this tweet saying, Kenny Pickett reportedly outperforming Jalen Hurts. And as an Eagles fan, if your first instinct after reading that isn't, wait a second, we've only had 2 OTA practices, what's the actual story behind this, then you probably need to rethink the whole Twitter thing. Now, for some context, this all stems from an Instagram reel by Tony Raz, that's Kenny Pickett's former quarterback coach, which read, Kenny Pickett delivers. The backup quarterback looks sharp, sharper than Jalen Hurts, to be honest. Hurts was on the money on his first 2 7-on-7 throws, hitting A.J. Brown on a quick inside slant, then following up with a nice sideline throw about 15 yards downfield. Pickett, though, was consistently on target. The Eagles can win games with him if something happens to Hurts, which of course the Steelers Nation Twitter account ran with using their clickbaity title to appease their fans, who are probably still upset with the idea that their first-round draft pick was traded and then replaced with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. But as usual, with crazy stories like this, the Twitter headline is a lot different than the actual story. The original report actually came from SI.com Eagles reporter Ed Krantz, who wrote in his article titled Eagles OTA Overreactions, among the 10 are Kenny Pickett and James Bradberry. And what do you know? Scroll down and there's the same exact quote from earlier about Pickett doing some pretty good things during 7-on-7s. Now, what's crazy about this whole thing is that Jalen Hurts threw less than 10 passes during a padless 7-on-7 Tuesday OTA. What's even more crazy than that is the fact that reporters were only allowed to watch 1 of the 3 OTA practices the Eagles had this week. So did Pickett look better every single day? Was it just this one throwing session? No one really knows. Also, reporters don't get free range of the field during OTAs or even training camp. They're all designated in one little section overlooking multiple football fields, and sometimes they're practicing right in front of you, and sometimes the offense is 2 fields away, and you have to kind of zoom in with your camera or binoculars to get the shot. Every single clip you've seen from Eagles OTAs so far this week, including the ones you're seeing on your screen right now, are from the reporters who are standing in their designated area. And you can see Pickett and Hurts throwing way over there. That's pretty far away from the actual reporters. So no, there is no quarterback controversy. There never was a quarterback controversy. Jalen Hurts did look pretty good, at least other reporters talking about his 7-on-7s. Kenny Pickett is not dominating this quarterback battle, which isn't even a thing right now. And in the end, let's be real, Pickett should look better than most backup quarterbacks do. I mean, Eagle reporters last year were used to watching Marcus Mariota, who was terrible by all reports through an entire training camp period. Watching Pickett, just a couple years removed from being a first-round draft pick who started in the league this past year, shouldn't be that much of a shock that he looks much better than most backup quarterbacks do. And remember, Philadelphia has one thing in mind when they actually traded for Kenny Pickett. It's not a quarterback controversy. It's not to, create some sort of Twitter firestorm when Pickett has a better day than Jalen Hurts, which will happen at some point in training camp, because that's how training camp works. They traded for him because of a guy named Nick Foles. Because if heaven forbid something were to happen to QB1 during the 2024 season, the Eagles have shown they want a solid backup behind him who can win football games. And the report, which started this whole firestorm, clearly showed that Kenny Pickett, at least so far through 3 OTA practices, has looked the part of someone who can win those games, and that's why Philadelphia brought him in. And so you got to remember, you're going to see reports like this all offseason long, but when a Twitter headline jumps out and you go, whoa, Jalen Hurts, it looks terrible, Kenny Pickett looks better, it's best to come to this channel and get the actual truth. Now today is the Devontae Smith charity softball game ticket giveaway, and I randomly selected one winner, and that is Mike Lowry 698. You are getting 2 tickets to Devontae Smith's charity softball game on June 29th in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Just go down below in my description box. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do to email me, prove who you are, and I'll get those tickets sent your way right away. Now, I think the big takeaway from OTAs, besides Kenny Pickett looking better than Jalen Hurts, has to be the fact that there were a bunch of reporters who actually raved about the new look Kellen Moore offense and its uses of pre-snap motion, varied formations, and yes, Jalen Hurts, this famous clip, actually lining up under center, something the Eagles refused to do, at least last season under Brian Johnson. I think Andrew DiCecco from Inside the Birds noted this very, very well on his Fanatics interview just the other day.
I was really enamored with the pre-snap motion and the varied formations that Kellen Moore had offensively. I think knowing the coordinator some of his tendencies, yes, I think that is going to be an element, a key element in the offense. Obviously, the motion as well. He's going to run that at a high frequency, and the different formations, those are going to come with the fresh ideas that the Eagles talked about in late January. So you are going to see those things implemented into the offense. Well, it puts unique stresses on defenses. It allows you to gather intel before the snap, and it also helps in creating spacing. So I think having those sort of those wrinkles in place offensively is going to make the Eagles a little bit more dynamic and less predictable and static offensively.
Now, I've said this before, but the ability to move Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown around this offense, not just line them up on one side and run simple routes, but pre-snap motion, get these guys moving laterally before they move vertically, is going to pay huge dividends for this Eagles offense in 2024. I really believe that this time next year, we're going to look back on the 2024 offseason and all the crazy moves and the great draft picks and go, I think Kellen Moore was the best move out of all of them. Now, yesterday we talked about the signing of John Ross, which is really interesting in the fact that they gave him a one-year contract based on just a couple of OTA and rookie minicamp practices. But you gotta remember, Kellen Moore's offense last year with the Los Angeles Chargers, the wide receiver 3, Joshua Palmer, had 61 targets in that offense. For comparison, Eagles wide receiver 3, Quez Watkins, in 2023 had 21 balls thrown his way. And that to me is very telling. Like, whoever the wide receiver 3 is gonna be in this offense, whether it's Paris Campbell or John Ross or somebody else, they're going to have a much bigger role than Eagle fans have been used to for their usual wide receiver 3 the past couple of seasons. Although personally, I still can't help but wonder what Ainias Smith is going to look like when he actually gets on the football field. Like, at the moment, he's at practice, but he's not really participating because, as you see here, he's standing to the sideline watching John Ross catch a pass. But that's due to the fact that Ainias Smith still has a stress fracture that was discovered at the NFL Combine, and he's currently been in the gym trying to get that all figured out so he's 100% for training camp. Which, by the way, Smith is documenting the entire thing, like actually being an Eagles rookie, on his brand new YouTube account, which I'll link below. It's really fun to watch. You go behind the scenes at the NovaCare complex, meetings, and exactly what Ainias Smith goes through from a day-to-day basis. So check out his channel and let's help blow it up to over 15,000 subscribers. Now, the other currently injured Eagle I'm excited to see get back on the football field is Nakobe Dean, who, of course, is still dealing with recovery efforts from his Liz Frank injury, which he suffered very early on during the 2023 season. He's been on the sideline of practices. You see that picture on your screen right here. And, of course, attending meetings, attending rehab, staying on top of things. But Dean told fans last month that he should be back sooner rather than later. And so I'm hopeful it's going to be a lot sooner rather than later.
Got hurt, had surgery, had got the plate and everything out, and now we just continue to work through and build strength to get stronger.
Are you ready? Are you 100%?
We getting there soon.
Now, I know the hype of signing Devin White and Zach Bond starting at linebacker this past week, or the drafting of Jeremiah Trotter, are all things that kind of push Nakobe Dean out of the spotlight. But I truly believe that Nakobe Dean is going to play a key role in this defense if he can stay healthy as linebacker 2 alongside Devin White. Like, that combination can be very, very scary and very, very dangerous if he is able to stay healthy. The problem is the health has been an issue. Let's just hope he can get on the football field sooner rather than later and start to show exactly why the Eagles took him in the 3rd round a couple of years ago. Either way, time is definitely running out, and Dean clearly is feeling the pressure from Eagle fans.
People can be, a Philly fan told me, he said, man, you play for the he knew how I was, play for the Eagles. He was like, man, we love y'all, man. We'll take a bullet for y'all, but we'll put y'all in front of one too. Exactly what he told me.
That's so right, though.
He explained it to a T. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, it's like, yeah, that's kind of how it is. Yeah, I'm be honest, I just embrace it.
Which Eagle do you guys think needs to step up the most, not just during OTAs, but once we get to training camp? Is there somebody who you really have high hopes for, but you're also wondering, can they be as good as I'm expecting them, like Nakobe Dean or Nolan Smith or Milton Williams? Let me know down below in the comment section right now. We have plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks, including my interview with Brandon Lee Gowton from Bleeding Green Nation, who was actually at OTAs. We'll get a first-hand report from a reporter who was actually there on the channel this weekend. Be sure to subscribe. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been The Thomas Mott Show.